Welcome to Chai with Molly, a show where we celebrate diversity the Canadian way. I am Molly and I look so much forward to seeing you every week on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. So thank you for tuning in. And also thank you for sending all those emails and phone calls, letting us know what you think about our show. And it really encourages us. We want to hear from you, so keep those emails coming. And also, if you'd like to be a guest on our show or would like to advertise with us, please contact me at 647-979-3220. Starting 2013 January, we will see new changes coming to the skilled workers program, and so we are going to get some more information on it from our expert, Chantal Deloche. She is a leading immigration lawyer in the city of Toronto. So welcome to our show once again.
Thank you, Molly.
So please tell us about this program.
Yeah, so it's really exciting actually, because they're really turning the system upside down. What's been happening is for the last 6 months or so, the government has actually frozen the skilled worker program and not allowed anybody new to apply except in exceptional circumstances.
Okay.
Getting ready for these new changes which are about to come in. Now what they've done is, you know that under the skilled worker system, it's always been calculating points.
Yes.
You get points for how old you are, how much English you speak, etc. So what they're doing is now they're going to be focusing in on much younger immigrants, with a much higher level of language, either English or French.
Okay.
So it used to be that the cutoff age to start losing points was 49 and 50.
Okay.
Now it's going to be a cutoff of 35.
Okay.
So after the age of 35, you're going to start losing points, which is a huge difference.
Big difference.
Also, the level of English language that's required is going to be, they're setting a minimum, and the minimum is actually rather high. Okay. So the interesting thing that I think about it is you're going to see the demographics of immigration will start to change.
How is it going to change?
Well, there'll be a lot more younger people coming in.
Okay.
So, you know, you're going to get a lot of people in their early 30s as opposed to before it would be people like, you know, kind of late 40s. Now, the other thing is that under the old program, if you had enough points in other categories, maybe you didn't speak English, but you had other skills. Now that's no longer going to be possible. So I think you're going to see a definite boost in immigration from English and French-speaking countries.
I see.
So I think you're going to see places like China go down a little bit. Other countries in the world where English isn't spoken as much.
Okay.
You might see a relative boost from, you know, Commonwealth countries, for example.
Okay. Very good, but that can't be bad, because if you are able to speak language of Canada, one of the two languages of Canada, then that can only be good for you.
Yeah, well, the policy behind it is interesting. There's some controversy about it because the government says that every single study that they've ever done proves that the people who do better in Canada are people who came here younger and had higher levels of English or French.
I see.
And this is independent studies that have been done repeatedly, and they always show the same thing. So they're saying that this is better not only for Canada, it's also better for the immigrants, because you get people coming with PhD and they're driving a taxi.
Right.
Nobody likes that.
Right.
But then you have other people in the population that are saying, well, look, if we're focusing so much on English, you're going to exclude a lot of people in the world. There are some people even saying that it's racist, which I disagree with. I think it's not racist to expect people who are coming here to speak one of our languages.
Yes.
You know?
And because people who want to come to Canada, they know that the official language is either English or French.
Right.
So,
and I mean, if I were going to be moving to Mexico, for example, I wouldn't expect that my level of Spanish would be an irrelevant factor. Of course, you know, if you want to succeed somewhere, you have to speak the language.
Yeah, because you have to live here and you have to get jobs and you have to go conduct a business. And if you're not able to communicate in the language that majority of the people speak in, then there could be issues.
Yeah.
Right?
The other thing about targeting younger people is that not only are they usually more adaptable because they're at the beginning of their career, they're not so much stuck in one area, also they're going to be having children.
Yes.
So that will help because we do need a population boost.
Yes.
It's better for us to have people who realistically may have a couple of children after they get here.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, what are some of the categories in terms of skills What kind of occupations are we looking for?
Well, they haven't said yet whether there is going to be an occupation demand list.
Okay.
So far, it doesn't look like there will be. And that actually makes sense, because by the time you cut out all the people over 35 and all the people who don't speak English or French, you can only cut it down so much before you won't have anybody applying.
Right.
But there is going to be a new skilled tradesperson category, which is something totally new. It's never been done before. They're targeting people, you know, plumbers, electricians, that sort of thing. And they're going to put them, instead of on a point system, it's going to be a pass-fail system, which will be easier for them to qualify.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so there's certain occupations that are listed under the skilled tradesperson category. Okay. And I can't remember how many there are exactly, but it'd be what you would expect. Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, that sort of thing.
Skilled workers.
Skilled workers, which we need for our construction industry.
Yes.
And they're gonna have to show a certain amount of experience within the past few years.
Okay.
They're gonna have to show that they either have the licensing in Canada or they have a job offer,
okay,
and a certain level of fluency in English or French.
Yeah, but how are they going to get a license if they're not even here?
Well, that's a question. What we think might happen is that the interprovincial licensing authorities might actually start to conduct exams and skills testing outside Canada.
Right, because right now it's not working very well, because even when you're here, they don't recognize some of the degrees.
Exactly.
Of people.
And the other thing that we think might happen is it might end up sort of indirectly favoring people who don't need a visa to come to Canada. For example, if you're a plumber in Ireland, you don't need a visa to come and visit Canada, so you could just fly over and you could do your licensing. You know, depending on how long the course is, often you don't even need a study permit for that. You could come write the exam and get licensing, whereas somebody from China,
who needs a visa,
right, would be disadvantaged in that area.
So how is the government addressing some of these concerns? That is a legitimate concern?
Yeah, well, I don't know if the government is doing anything about that. I think what you will have to, like, the actual licensing authorities will be the ones that will have to deal with that problem. And then don't forget that if you can't get the licensing, the other way to overcome that difficulty is if you have a job offer.
Okay.
So some of these construction companies will have to start issuing the job offers and then bringing people over rather than waiting for them to get here first.
Yeah, but then they're going to run into these problems called Canadian experience.
Yeah, that's
which is
true.
what they're looking for every time you apply for a job if you're a new immigrant.
Yeah,
Even as an immigrant, they just say, no, you don't have Canadian experience.
Yeah, I know. One thing that they're also doing in the new skilled worker category, I forgot to mention this, was they're going to have mandatory credential assessment for everyone who applies. So you won't be able to lodge your application unless the Canadian Credential Organization has evaluated your degree.
I see.
And said that it is equivalent to whatever level here in Canada.
Okay.
Which is,
so
again, not been done
before. Will this be done by provincially or federally?
Well, the government is well, it's stopped now, but they were taking tenders for companies who wanted to be authorized to do this credential assessment. Okay. And a number of organizations have applied. We're just waiting to hear who's going to get the license for doing it.
Well, thank you so much. This is all so valuable, and hopefully this is something that is going to help and benefit a lot of our viewers. So if you have any further questions about it or would like to get any additional information, you can definitely contact us and we'll make sure we put you in touch with Chantal. Thank you once again for being here.
Thanks very much.
Good morning and welcome to Chai with Molly. This is Jay Banerjee. We're in the month of December, and people think December is not what it's all about. Of course, parties are important and all the get-togethers. Real estate happens in the month of December. The people that are buying for you sellers are the serious buyers. And those that are looking to sell, your home shows better in the month of December and the holidays with all the decorations and everything else. So if you're thinking of selling or buying, give me a call or call a real estate agent that you may be working with, and will be perfect. Getting into the new year, 2013, those of you who are planning to make that purchase, you're also thinking about mortgages. That is a critical part. In Canada, we have some very unique facilities that allow you to buy with 20% down, 10% down, even